I am going to be interviewing the Prime Minister.
Come behind the scenes and see how I save time.
I'll talk you through exactly how I use meal prep. Habit stacking is one of the biggest time-saving exercises I do.
You're like, take us to see the Prime Minister, and I'm like, I'm a girl.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another vlog. It is the end of my day, but the start of a new vlog. I just wanted to pick the camera up because I'm about to have a lovely reset evening. Lots of like food prep, meal prep, planning for the week ahead, which I thought was a perfect time to start this video because, as you guys know, I have mentioned a few times in the last few videos, I have been really loving like bringing lots of intention to specific weeks and specific vlogs based on the questions that you guys are asking in my DMs in the comment section of the YouTube channel. I get lots and lots and lots of comments about saving time, like how to be a productive girly. I feel very, very, very type A at work, but like how are we keeping that in our personal lives? Like how are we doing that? But I had to come on and show you this because I'm very sure that in every single vlog I just look like an egg, and so I just thought I'd pick up the camera and show you before I look like an egg. So I don't always look like an egg, but I just thought we could have a little yappy catch up while I'm taking my makeup off, getting back into egg mode basically. And so I thought we could run through some of my like go-to time saving hacks. And the first one I will be bringing you tomorrow morning, but the first one, I feel like I save a lot of time and I start my day off well by taking Blue for a walk first thing in the morning. Now, if you're an OG, if you've been here since the beginning, you'll know that my morning routine is something that I have tried to perfect over the years, and it's also something that I let grow and change with me as my role in the business changes and as my priorities change. And so this change, also let me know in the comments if you want a specific video on like morning routine, because I do get a lot of questions. I don't think I've ever done a video on it since my morning routine has changed. But like taking Blue out in the morning, I read a book called I'll pop the cover on screen now, but I read The Dose Effect by TJ Power, and it talks all about kind of biohacking with your brain. And you guys know that I wear the Whoop. I do a lot of biohacking, like physically making sure that I am operating at a really high level, making sure I'm looking after myself and using that to make just really intentional decisions with like how, when, what and why I'm working. And Dose Effect kind of teaches you how to do the same thing with your brain. Things like dopamine detoxes, really limiting the amount of screen time that I have, making sure screen time is intentional, and I'm prioritizing connection with people over just texting people back being like, yeah, fine, how are you? And actually just calling them and having a nice chat. So I read The Dose Effect recently and it really rewired how intentional I am with that morning routine. And so I feel like I am talking about saving time by telling you that I spend an hour walking Blue in the morning, but I really do feel like starting the day doing something that's like really healthy dopamine, like it's not scrolling on TikTok, it's not checking my emails, it's not checking my phone, like my phone other than to like turn Whoop on and walk out the door, I don't look at any notifications. And so just by like starting the day right, I always feel more productive and kind of like I'm already ahead on the day. And so I feel like getting a task, obviously walking Blue is a great joy of mine, but it is a task that I have to do, and I have to be walked. I'm an animal, I'm a little houseplant as well, she's got to go for a walkies. Walking him for an hour in the morning really helps me to like just set the day off with the intention of this is a priority, like getting outside, getting direct sunlight that early in the morning is just beautiful. And so I feel like when I was thinking about like how I do save time and how I am very productive as a person, for me, making sure that I actually have a routine that supports productivity and saving time is really important, because I think it would be so easy to talk about productivity but not actually talk about what makes it sustainable productivity and what makes it like productivity that feels really good. And for me, productivity is quite like a dopamine task, and so it's really important to create an environment where your brain is craving the right kind of dopamine rather than the wrong type of dopamine. So if you start your day with scrolling on TikTok, like your brain is definitely going to choose that sort of dopamine, fake dopamine, over the real sort of dopamine, which is like wholesome dog walks, meal prep, like sorting out cupboards, like doing all of these things that just feels very like wholesome. And so yeah, that book recommendation really talks about different types of dopamine, how the brain works, and exactly how we can utilize creating an environment that is set up to save time, make good decisions. And we are about to go and do the task on saving time that I get the most questions about from anyone ever, which is meal prep. So I do so much meal prep. I feel like there's a few things that influence this. The first is I love food, I love cooking, I'm a feeder. Like, if you come to our house, you're getting fed. I hope I'm being one of those mums that, like, all of my kids' core memories, I just want them to be about food. Like, I want them to be in the kitchen and just know that they're, like, loved. Yeah, so the first part of the meal prep, like, vibes is that I love cooking, I love food. The second is when you get busy as a business owner, it is very, very, very easy to make less than ideal choices when you are tight on time. And for me, like, food is very much non-negotiable. I talk, again, a lot about, like, biohacking and, like, fueling your body and making sure that you're just removing anything that just is not good for you. You guys know I'm teetotal, like, things like that. You know, they're just decisions that I feel personally support me and what I'm doing. And so just making it as easy as possible to make the best decisions possible is really, really good. I don't know about you, but, like, the only time I ever really, like, grab a chocolate bar, like a Kit Kat, is, like, when I'm at a petrol station and I'm hungry. Like, it's never when I'm at home and, like, have all of these things around me. And so just want to make sure I've got good options available to me to save time. And so I do a lot of batch cooking. So I just thought I can take my makeup off, we can have a bit of a catch up, and then I will take you downstairs and show you how I meal prep now. Oh, I can't start this video without telling you what happened to me today. My PA sends me a message and says, I don't know if this is spam or not, but I have the Prime Minister's office on the phone. She's literally, like, screaming. Got the Prime Minister's office on the phone. I'm like, am I in trouble? I think I might be in trouble. Why would the Prime Minister's office want me? And I'm not in trouble. I have been requested. I am going to be interviewing the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 2 days' time. I look like this. How do I have responsibilities? So I've been invited to interview Keir Starmer on Thursday. It's been embargoed, I don't know what it is. There's a big announcement happening later on this week. And so we will be filming an interview with Keir Starmer. I get to ask him some questions. I'll be doing that to go out to the press. It will be going out on TV, radio, press and socials. And so it's wild. It's going to be chaotic because it's actually Bring Your Kids to Work Day on Thursday. So the good news is my diary is actually blocked out anyway. The bad news is Bring Your Kids to Work Day is actually my favourite day in the calendar. And so I really, really, really am very keen to make my schedule work so that I'm able to be at work and do that. So, yeah. This little egg is off to do some meal prep, so come with me. Before I bring you behind the scenes of interviewing the Prime Minister, I thought I'd take a moment to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video. One of the biggest time savers in my business is Xero. If you've been following the journey for a while, you'll know that we've used Xero since day one of running our accounting firm, and we still use it now. But for those of you who don't know, Xero is a cloud-based accounting software platform specifically designed for small businesses to easily manage their finances. A lot of the core weekly time-saving elements of my week that I'm going to show you behind the scenes in this video actually come from a lot of the functionality that I get from Xero. It automates our invoicing, it chases payments for me, it tracks expenses, and lets me check my cash flow at a glance. Whether I'm at my desk or literally on the train, just needing to check something quickly before going into an important meeting. If you're a business owner and you want to save some serious time and stress, try Xero. There is an exclusive offer just for my audience in the description of this video. And I have to say a very big thank you to Xero for sponsoring this part of today's video. This is my OOTD for the meal prep. Everyone's favourite slippers. I thought you'd appreciate it. Welcome to Rachel's Recipes. This is our batch meal prep session, and I preheat the oven to do tonight's dinner because we might get hangry, so I try and cook our dinner for that night at the same time as doing all of the other stuff. So we're gonna do loads of prep, and I'm gonna start with, I mentioned earlier that I do my morning walks with Blue, and when I get back from my morning walk with Blue, I have breakfast that I've prepped. I do batch prep on breakfast, and so this is like a chia pudding, so I thought I'd show you that recipe. Okay, so the chia pudding recipe is super easy. I also, at the same time as having my dinner on, got the hob on, just doing lots of like boiling for like salad prep. Got some frozen edamame beans I'm about to throw in. I'm going to do like tender stem broccoli and green beans to just grab as we go throughout the week. And this chia pudding recipe is so easy, so perfect. Don't worry, I'm not about to turn into a cookery show, but just thought you guys might appreciate. So it is a third of a cup of chia seeds. So the chia seeds are in here. I'm getting a whole tin of coconut milk. I'm then going to do a cup of Greek yogurt. And then I actually sometimes get TikToks on my For You page which are people trying chia pudding for the first time and then thinking it's really great. The hack to making it edible is maple syrup. I feel like I talk about maple syrup at disproportionate amounts, but I basically put it in all of my breakfast to make it sweet. And again, as people who try and avoid like ultra processed food, the like maple syrup is just such a great way of getting like nice healthy sugars in. I say healthy, questionable. I guesstimate the maple syrup basically based on how much maple syrup I like, while still feeling like it is healthy. So this is what it looks like right now, just all chucked in, and then we are just gonna give it a nice little whisk, and then I will show you how I pop that into the fridge. This is a mecca of the food prep. This is the Tupperware drawer. So this will do 4 breakfasts.
Why are you getting them out a second time? I already got them out. So is it just yogurt?
It is nice. Sorry, James has headphones on, isn't listening to anything, and so just in case you wonder why he is lobbing around.
Oh no.
Literally never done that before. Okay, so these are going in the fridge for breakfast, and I have lots of like fruits and berries, so like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries and banana, but I'll just pop them on top in the morning so they're nice and fresh. They're going in the fridge, and then I have just prepped one of our go-to favourites, which is salmon, with like I just really quickly mix like mustard, dill and olive oil into like a nice dressing. So I'm just going to pop them in the oven. Put the timer on. Not sure if I have mentioned, I know I've just mentioned like avoiding ultra processed food, which I feel like is, I think, a lot of people's goal. Grace Beverly recently did a really good podcast episode on ultra processed food and like the effects of it and stuff, so I definitely recommend watching that or listening to that if you haven't, or if you want to like learn a bit more, because I feel like I didn't really know too much about ultra processed food before, other than like I don't feel good when I eat them. Also haven't mentioned like a lot of the food that we eat isn't just ultra processed, it's like kind of one step further, and we stick to a FODMAP protocol. I'm going to Google it because whenever I say that, people say, what's FODMAP? And I say, can't remember what it stands for. So James is currently, don't want to go into too many details, but he's seen a gastro specialist. And so through like working out how to make James better, we have tested lots of diets. And one that seems to get him to a point where he doesn't feel good, but he doesn't feel bad, is low FODMAP diet. So FODMAP stands for oh my gosh, I'll put something on the screen here that shows a low FODMAP, because there are many words that I cannot pronounce. But a low FODMAP diet basically involves restricting foods in those high categories and then gradually reintroducing them to work out which specifically cause symptoms. And so we do low FODMAP, which is supposed to be a temporary solution. However, James's issues seem to be quite sporadic in what they respond to, and so we've just been sticking to low FODMAP until we've got like some specific test results back as well. So we do try and avoid ultra processed food, but we are also kind of like one step further, and like James is actually following a specific, not a specific diet, but like we actually have to exclude a lot of food. So like, guys, as someone who loves cooking, the low FODMAP diet excludes onion and garlic. It's so sad, but it's why I do a lot of meal prep like this, because it avoids me making silly mistakes. Okay, I have realised that if I try and do something as complex as run around the kitchen making 4 different recipes at the same time, I might have a mental breakdown if I'm trying to vlog at the same time. So I'm just going to run around, do lots of meal prep, and then I'll talk you through exactly how I use meal prep at the same time. This is what a little week of food prep looks like, and I guess the one thing that I didn't mention earlier is that I definitely do food prep rather than meal prep. So like generally the vibe is kind of like grab and go. If it was a Pinterest board, the vibe would be like you're at an all-inclusive holiday and it's just like the salad section, so just all really good choices. Yeah. And so we just cook like a protein each evening. So I've got a slow cooker prepped ready to go, which is like a chili that's actually cooked. I just need to warm it up. And then like tonight we've just cooked the salmon as well. So this is just all of the salad. So we've got bacon, eggs. I'd like chop that up and do it with like chicken if I wanted to make like a lunchtime Caesar salad. Got roasted peppers, tender stem broccoli, green beans, a edamame and quinoa salad, roast potatoes and a cucumber, tomato, rocket and spinach salad. So that's just like all of the grab and go things to kind of go with a protein. And then we also have, like I prepped this at the beginning, we just chuck in the oven for like an easy dinner. One night I like to have this one just prepped ready to go. So I just prepped this, put a cling film on it. And this is the salmon, which is what we're having for dinner tonight. Then this is everybody's favorite section. This is the sweet treat section. So I just wash the strawberries. I don't cut them yet because I don't want them to go funny, but I've washed all of the fruit. So that's blueberries, raspberries and strawberries, all washed, ready to go. So obviously you can just grab these and then chop these. You saw me making these earlier. I just need to actually pop them in the freezer. They're just setting. This is dates with peanut butter, dark chocolate, crushed peanut on top, and then some sea salt on top as well. They're supposed to be like fake Snicker bars. Obviously they're not a substitute for Snicker bars because they are actual figs, but you can see by my dark chocolate ratio it's still pretty sweet treat vibes. And then my chia pudding that I have for breakfast, and again you can see I just grab these, chuck these, chop one of these, chop a banana, get them on, and then ready to go. So everyone's favourite section, sweet treat. Okay, so forgive me for this not being the most aesthetically pleasing meal in the world, but so that salmon I just like chucked it in the oven for about 24 minutes. So that was in the oven. Potatoes already cooked, broccoli already cooked, and then quinoa and edamame already cooked. So that was just like cook a protein and then chuck in some different salads. So see you in the morning.
Good morning. I am just lighting my candle, getting cozy at my desk. Just had an everything shower and I thought I'm gonna look like an egg and I'm gonna rot a bit at my desk and just get some deep focus work done. And I thought this was a really good opportunity to talk to you about a couple of the work time-saving strategies that I've implemented. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about so far has been kind of like personal lifetime saving strategies, which really does save my sanity on a daily basis. But how do I bring that same energy into work? It's worth saying I actually feel like I have got to the point where I can do those things in my personal life because I've done so much at work to really build and keep these time-saving habits in my schedule. And so I can't actually talk about anything to do with running an accounting firm without talking about accounting software. And so we run our accounting practice on Xero. We have literally used Xero from day one of running the accounting firm, and it meets all of our needs when it comes to using some of the custom functions of Xero, which I feel like I could not live without. And one of them is actually using tracking categories. I will put a snippet on screen here, but if you have heard me talk anywhere about my accounting firm, about my business, about my employee benefits package and the way I run my firm, it is incredibly KPI driven. We use key performance indicators to make sure every member of staff knows how they're measured, why they're measured, and the impact of those measurements on their day-to-day role, but also the wider practice. And so every 7 days on a Monday morning, we use these automated reports to go out to every manager and senior manager in the business. So they get customized reports sent to them based on the people who report to them, their KPIs and how they are tracking. So this report will come to them every single Monday. It also comes to me every single Monday, and I review exactly where the business is at. So this is our income P&L with team members across the top. So I can see by team member for that specific reporting period who is billing what. When I tell you, of all of the consulting you see me do, So many people, when I start working with them, are running their businesses based on gut feel, and I am sponsored by leaning into your gut and trusting your gut and turning the volume up on sometimes what your gut can tell you, but we can't get away from ensuring that we have the data to make those decisions. And so every 7 days I am made aware of the income that the firm is generating. I can see person by person who is hitting their targets, who's not hitting their targets. Obviously this has been anonymized and we've got things blurred out, but you can see how this works within the practice. And so one of the core things that I am looking at every 7 days, which saves me so much time because all of it's automated, it comes straight to me. I then get to do my job and the bit of my job that I do best, which is make decisions, bring in strategy, meet with the managers. Me and James do those things on a day-to-day basis in the practice. We can use that information to drive the business forward. So one of the key time-saving strategies that I operate within the business is getting these weekly scorecards sent to myself and other people who need them to make decisions on a weekly basis. I cannot stress that highly enough. This one's from Xero, and obviously Xero are very kindly sponsoring today's video, so I wanted to show you this one. And then we also have a couple of other scorecards that I get sent, which only come to me because they're the people that report to me. So I also have a business development manager scorecard which comes to me, which tells me how many inquiries we've received in the week, the sources of those inquiries, how much work has been quoted in that week, and how much work has been won and accepted from that week. That helps me to plan growth of the business, it helps me to plan social media content, but let me know in the comments if you want more specific information on this KPI stuff. But obviously I can't talk about Xero without talking about these scorecards, because I even sometimes see it within the accounting firm. People use accounting software like Xero, but sometimes they don't actually utilize all of the different elements. And so when people become a client of ours, we actually spend a whole 60 minutes together going through like, how are you running your business? Can we be utilizing any of the extra functions that we've got within Xero? How can we be maximizing your time, our time, the time that we get to spend together? And so I always say to people, when it comes to KPIs, having them isn't just enough, and looking at them monthly isn't just enough. By the time you're looking at that data, if it's out of date, it's literally useless. Every 7 days is such a like pulse reactionary measure of how your business is going. And so that's how I use Xero on a daily basis within the accounting firm. I have also, just as part of my deep focus work, logged into our Xero, and immediately on my dashboard, I like curate our Xero dashboard to be everything that I want to see as soon as I log in, which has just reminded me of something else that I wanted to talk to you about, which is made very easy to use and handle using Xero. So for a really long time, we wanted to give our management team access to spend their budgeted money without having to ask us if they could spend it. And so we basically found a bank account where we're able to give all of the managers their own cards, they can have their own pots, their budget that we give them for the year to like spend on their team or take their team out or like go out with clients for drinks or whatever. They all get different budgets. We wanted to find a way for them to be able to spend that on their own. And so we've actually been able to set that up so that they all have their own individual cards. All of that feeds straight into Xero, and then we can use Xero to keep all of it reconciled and to actually allocate that budget expenditure to the managers, so that managers get that reported to them every month as part of our like management reporting. They can see exactly what's going on, because again, I don't know how we got 5 years into the business where we had this budget and the managers had to like ask us to spend the money, and then or they had to do it through an expense claim as well. And so 2025 for us is the year of delegating, saving time, and just doing a bit of work up front to really deep dive how to save time, to spend that time up front, to then make it all run really, really smoothly and easily behind the scenes as well. So just logged into my Xero dashboard and can actually see that like tracking account set up on the dashboard so that I can see exactly what's going on as we go throughout the month.
Good morning everybody, I am just getting set up to work for the day and thought I would talk about the morning walk, because my morning walk is one of the biggest like time-saving exercises that I feel like I do, which might sound counterintuitive, but habit stacking is something that I have built a lot into my day-to-day role and day-to-day life. And so habit stacking is where you stack habits on top of each other. And so my morning walk is doing multiple things. It's helping me to get an hour's exercise in. It's helping me to see direct sunlight first thing in the morning, which is very important. It's helping me to tick something off the to-do list, which is walk the dog. And I actually spend a lot of that time on personal development. So every single morning I listen to podcasts, I call friends, I ask them questions, I try and get like problems solved within the business. And so a lot of it is like audiobooks and podcasts. And then if I've got time to like catch up with a friend, or I've got a friend that I want to catch up with, I will call them during that time as well. And so habit stacking for me has become a big game changer in terms of understanding that like if you do have lots of things to do, you could do all of them at the same time. Obviously where it still feels good for you. So like for me, having a coffee, walking the dog and listening to a podcast, that is completely sustainable for me. But it kind of feels extra good because I'm able to like tick multiple things off the to-do list. So like by 8 a.m. I've already walked the dog, I've got direct sunlight, I've not been on my phone, I've got some really good healthy dopamine from going outside on a big long walk, and have been able to listen to a podcast or like, and I'll always intentionally listen to podcasts or read audiobooks that I feel are helping me work towards solving a problem that I've got going on at the minute. And it's definitely something that like that sort of personal development, I'm not sure I'd find time to do that if I was just like having to take time away from my desk to just sit and read or like sit and do something. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned habit stacking because it's been one of the biggest game changers in my business and like productivity life that really helped me to feel in control of the day as well by getting ahead. So come with me, we've got a pretty crazy day. I've got a client board meeting, our board meeting, I've got a briefing call with Downing Street, I've got some internal meetings, and I'm doing loads of filming, so let's go.
Like the tagline of it made her click on it, and I was like, we need to be noticing these things and being like, this is what we need to be doing. And it was basically like how to launder £1 million worth of money. And the actual, like, it was about consultancy and how consultancy is like not necessarily real, and like no one actually knows what it is. It's really easy to draft like fake agreements and stuff like that. So I was like, that's a really good point as well.
It's the hook of an email that makes you open it, and it's the same like I was talking to these people about it yesterday around like my full-time job, like my literal full-time job is working out how to make people watch something for more than 3 seconds. But that's my job. And so and
it's hard.
It's so hard. And I do think with email marketing it's the same of like the referral program email being like, I heard you were talking about me. It's stuff like that you want them to be like, I want it implying a negative, but like not actually being negative enough for them to open it. Because we are still accountants and we don't want them to be like terrified. It's going on a briefing call with Downing Street. I feel like I didn't mention before I went on the call why I'm sat here for a meeting, and we're actually having some work done in the garden, and all of the work is happening around the shed, which is where I normally work. And so me and James are playing tug of war with like taking calls at home. It feels very like COVID era, but that was my meeting with Downing Street, and so now I'm just going to have a quick chat with Stacey to sort some logistics out. And my number one way of saving time is having Stacey, so just going to give her a ring. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. How was your call with the Prime Minister's office?
It was good. It was very bizarre, very good. I have some more information, but not Stacey and Rachel levels of information. It's going to be in Swindon. Ew. Sorry, I just looked at the train, and that's not looking nice. She said we'll find out the exact location tonight, but yeah, the train looks disgusting. I think I'll drive. There's going to be a big press conference, an announcement, and then I've got a 5-minute slot to interview him. And then they'll film all of it. I'll film my own stuff, and then I have to edit and turn around a video quite quickly. So we are off the call with Downing Street, and I had a quick debrief with Stacey to just word vomit some stuff at her and ask her to do her thing behind the scenes and make sure that we're getting our ducks in a row for a very early and chaotic start.
tomorrow, but that's future Rachel's problem. So I'm now about to hop into our monthly management leadership program. This is really interesting, and I feel like this is something that when I'm thinking about like saving time, I do a lot of things on the basis of like slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and this is definitely something that spending an hour together as a management team working through a specific program saves so much time in the long run by just having such a cohesive and collaborative team. So let's go into our monthly leadership program.
Rachel, I've said you're a big inspiration and your standards are very, very, very high, and you have you have a lot of consistency.
I feel like it's my birthday.
I know. No one ever says nice things to me.
Oh my god.
I actually have another thing to say, Rachel. Can I? Is that okay?
It's like a present behind the tree that we've forgotten.
I'm so sorry. We see you as an inspiration. We see you achieve these great things, and you're up there. We see you fail as well, because within the business, outsiders don't see this, but we see it. So we see both sides, and that's actually gives us the ability to be like, you know what, even though I fail at some things, I can still do really good. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. I have actually just had the camera set up portrait because I've just been filming some short form, but I thought I'd come on and say hi because I am going to bring you behind the scenes and show you exactly how I use like really streamlined scripting and planning for short form videos to save time when I'm actually filming them. So I've just filmed a batch of content on the treadmill, but I'm filming batches of lines that don't actually go together, and we have a process internally that we use to make sure that the editing process exactly aligns with the like curation and ideation process. So I just wanted to come on and say hi. I'm now filming videos. We've had our board meeting. It's actually after the working day has ended, but as you can probably tell by like the Prime Minister conversations, things are moving around quite a lot, so I just need to make sure I get everything done today. I've got loads of prep to do tonight before my 5 a.m. call time tomorrow. So come with me, I'll show you the behind the scenes of how I save time when I am creating content. Okay, firstly, I'm very hot and sweaty, so forgive me, but secondly, I don't even know if this is going to make sense to anyone, but if you are very type A, you want to feel more in control of your content, this is definitely a process that we're perfecting. It's not perfect, but it's a continuous way of improving. We will like script a video based on a lot of research firstly, so obviously research is the first bit. We'll script a video and then we will script the text. Then we'll have two different colours where we're highlighting notes on the document. The first is directions for me, so it'll be like change shot, do this, point here, blah blah blah. And then the other is like editing directions, which will be like, can you put this on screen? Can you do this? Can you put this on, like, can you make a noise when I do this? All of those things. So it becomes this really messy document that like looks like multiple colours like this. Then once we've done that, I will take the script, I will list it out line by line. I want to move shots between the lines, and so I reference each line to a shot. I then put it in order so that I can film in multiple locations back to back rather than having to like move and then move and then move and then move and then move. And then I reference those shots to a spreadsheet, which then goes to Tamsin, who edits the footage. I actually do not know if that makes any sense of me saying it out loud, but basically Tamsin then gets a table to edit, which is all of the different shots put together in the order that they need to go in, but the shot numbers are out of order because it's in the scripted order, which is the order it should finish in. It's been a very long day and I'm trying to get a lot done so that I can be present in the moment tomorrow. I don't know if this makes sense, but that is what I do. I've always wondered how people do this when they move around shots and stuff, and it always seems so well executed and planned. I feel like we're getting a bit closer to it now, but even with this one, I've got like quite a lot of feedback that I'm sending back to the team of like things that could have made my life easier when I was doing this, because I spent quite a lot of time doing it that I think they could do. So they'll be getting quite a bit of feedback from me, like good feedback to just make it better next time. So I now just need to migrate this footage over, send it to them so that they can get editing this while I'm out. So I cannot talk about saving time without talking about outsourcing, employing, and delegation. My wonderful PA Stacey gets huge mentions and shout outs in almost every video, as well as Tamsin, who's the content lead of Accountant She as well. And so I actually thought we could do a bit of a deep dive into like outsourcing and delegation. So when I'm planning how I work with team members, my main focus is saving time. It's getting quality time with team members, but in a way that just really saves me headspace and gives me the ability to get lots of like deep focus work done at the same time. And so the way that I save time working with Stacey, who is my PA, is we keep a loop board, that's LOOP, which just has a running list of daily approvals and things that we've made a note of to talk to each other about when we speak to each other next. And so I actually thought you guys could come behind the scenes for one of our daily approvals talks, which is a 30-minute meeting. I sometimes have these while I'm driving if I'm tight on time, which is actually quite nice because she actually gets my undivided attention. Or I do them like this at my desk, where we spend 30 minutes together going through what she needs from me, what I need from her. We basically word vomit for half an hour, and then we both go away with loads of key action points. So come behind the scenes and see how I save time by spending time one-to-one with a team member. Yes. There were quite a few things that I put on that was just word vomit that you wouldn't even be able to read without me saying it to you, but it was just for my benefit of knowing to explain it to you, that again, if I wasn't just putting it on there, it would actually be like a full email, a full thing. But if I just word vomit, it gets it out of my brain and onto here. So I'm good.
Yeah, and I've very much done the same, because I was like, right, I'm not gonna put it in the inbox. I'm just gonna like discuss it during the meeting.
I feel like normally I would let these sit on my task list and then just think like tick around in my brain, but I'm actually gonna let them tick around in your brain. So the first one is we ran our limited company refresher course on Teachable as a hybrid course, which was live online and on demand earlier this year. By far the most successful course launch we've ever done, and I want to work out if we can make it evergreen. So the reason we did it live online was to just like test it, let people ask questions, like record all of the training sessions that we've done and put them in there. And so it would be interesting if you could maybe draft an email to go out to people who took that course, who actually have access to that on demand forever, to maybe ask them, if they hadn't have attended the live calls but they had recordings of the live calls, would that still have given them the impact, or do they feel the live elements were like a really key part of them signing up and the value that they were given? So yeah, just a bit of a deep dive. Like I would much rather take that feedback from them rather than us do it ourselves, because like we had such amazing feedback from that course. I would love to understand, like, is this something that we can just make evergreen and run it and run it and run it and run it, or does it need to be a little bit live elements of it as well?
Good morning. I actually had to wait until it was daylight to say good morning to you. I actually just saw a car crash this morning, and it's been all I've been thinking about the whole drive here. It's been really, really wet on the roads, and it was quite dark, like you could barely see. And sorry, this is a story you guys do not need. You're like, take us to the see the Prime Minister, and I'm like, I'm a girl. Do you ever like see someone? I didn't see the crash, but I saw them. Like I was like one of the first cars there after the accident, and it was really dark, and so it was on the motorway, so like everyone's going super fast, and you kind of like didn't realise there was a car stopped in the fast lane until it was literally right in front of me. And I literally, you know, and you're like, when there's water on the roads, I am just a little girly pops, and I think sometimes it feels like the water's going to throw me off the road, and James always says no it's not, and I am pretty sure that's what just happened to this car. Was it just flew across the road into the central reservation and like bounced off again. Luckily for me, I didn't see the accident, but I just sort of stopped and made sure he was okay. He was fine. He was on the phone to the ambulance and stuff, and then I think a lorry actually saw the accident, so had stopped as well. So it was fine. Obviously a little bit later than I'd like to be, but you know, in the whole drive there, you just think like the burnt toast theory, you know, like if I was a minute in front,
What if he just bounced off and hit me? What if it was me? Anyway, see, what's bad? What did I tell you? This is a rogue part of the vlog, but just, you know, it's not all shiny things. So I am just like 12 minutes away from where I'm going to get my hair and makeup done. It's actually an old client of ours. His name's Neil. He's done my glam a few times before, and he's kind of on the way to where I'm going today. How stressful is this? You guys will know my personality type in my brain. I know where in the country I'm going, but I don't know where I'm going. So can't really plan anything. So I've kind of had to be like, I think I need to leave at this time, but it could be half an hour before, half an hour after, I have no idea. So I'm hoping I'll get an email in about an hour telling me where I actually need to go, which is interesting. James last night was like, are you excited or are you feeling a bit overwhelmed? I was like, oh my god, James, going and chatting to the Prime Minister is the least stressful part of my day. Like, I just hate travelling. I know that's a champagne first world problem. And it's not like the driving, it's just the travelling. It just absolutely like exhausts me, and like that's the bit that I find quite overstimulating and requires a lot of brain capacity, is just me like, because I feel like when your brain's thinking about big stuff, like talking to the Prime Minister, your brain, like, I find it really hard to switch between that and being like, where am I parking? What am I doing? How do I do that? What time do I need to leave? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so yeah, Neil used to be a client of ours. He isn't anymore just because he's not self-employed anymore. And yeah, he's done my glam a few times. And like me and James will just always choose to like spend money with people that are like us, small businesses. And so yeah, really exciting to see him again. I haven't spoken to him for about 7 or 8 months, so really exciting to see him again. And it's always nice like getting glam done by someone that you know quite well, because it kind of just feels like you're sitting and yapping rather than like making small talk with someone, which sometimes it feels like. So yeah, I'm gonna get my glam done and I will catch up with you guys when I'm on my way to interview the Prime Minister. She has interviewed the Prime Minister and she is back in her comfy clothes within 12 minutes, ladies and gents. 12 minutes from the interview, back in a hoodie. Obviously, it rained. So obviously, the glam was worth every minute of that 5 AM start. But it's a crazy day. Let me get on with my day. You can come with me. We've got to go to Bring Your Kids to Work day. I've got to make an appearance at the office. Then I've got to go to Downing Street. So let's go. Hello. That was the quick change of all quick change. I've just like brightened up my makeup a little bit for a different look, slicked my hair back, changed my top, brushed my teeth again, got changed, and now we're going to Bring Your Kids to Work day, so let's go. I'm a shell of a woman. I had to be an extrovert for about 7 hours yesterday and it's broken me. But it was a vision board day, like the best day, like probably the most poignant day of my career so far. However, did I have to leave the house? Yes. Am I mad and sad about that? Yes. I'm hosting a webinar this morning. The night before last, probably had about 5 hours sleep. In terms of sleep time, not actual like deep sleep time. So I'm just a bit broken. Whoop was red yesterday. It's more red today. So last night I was in Swindon, then I came back to Bring Your Kids to Work day, then I went to Downing Street for the creator event. Obviously, this is questionable, as in questionable strategy from Downing Street, but Downing Street invited creators to Downing Street for a reception and then took all of our phones and bags off us, so we weren't allowed to film, which was quite bizarre. So I was literally on the go from 4 o'clock yesterday morning to, I got home at like 11:30 last night, and I got a McDonald's on the way home. She's healthy, wealthy. Until she's not. Love that this video has been about like how to save time, how to be healthy, how to be wealthy. We got a McDonald's and she got up at 4 AM. In that time, and given I was driving, so I couldn't even have like time on my phone. I edited the video from the footage of interviewing Keir Starmer yesterday into a video and sent it to Downing Street at 10 PM last night and was like, please can you approve this? So they've just approved it. So I'm about to post the video of me interviewing the PM. So I think I'm in a bit of a rush this morning, so I might actually just take a moment, make a coffee, gather my thoughts, and then post the video before I get on with what I need to get on with. So let's go. James, I'm wearing matching outfits.
Oh, cute.
Okay. I'm about to hit post.
What's your message to small business owners who like getting squeezed from everything? As we know, it takes me 10 working days to recover from leaving the house, and so I've actually just been moving the footage over for this vlog and just have the biggest grin on my face. Like, I feel like when I started my YouTube channel, I never ever ever could have dreamt the things that this camera has seen now. And to have a sponsor for this video that I have had on our sponsorship vision board for years, which is Xero, to then have things on my vision board in the video that's sponsored by Xero, of like meeting the Prime Minister, creating content on behalf of Downing Street to break down complex topics and get this information in front of people who need to hear it. I think it's just beyond my wildest dreams, and I don't know why that made me emotional. Yeah, beyond my wildest dreams. And I have always said to James, like, YouTube is the platform that's going to change our lives. I always say that to him, and I feel like when you consume content on YouTube, you can see it happening for people. You can see like the ability to tell stories in long form just brings a whole new depth to everything, and I am so excited. Like, the fact that I couldn't have dreamt what this camera has seen so far. Like, I know that there's more coming. I know there's more coming that I never could have dreamt of. And before this turns into a TED talk, as always, I'd really like to come and close off vlogs by just saying the biggest thank you in the world. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Like, watching videos all the way to the end are the very best way to support me as a creator, and so I will always put two things on screen here. I will pop a video if you love this video, a video really similar for you to continue your binge watching of these wholesome, productive videos, and then I'll also include a link to a playlist which contains more content that I think you'll love as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. A final thank you to Xero for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys again very soon.